nuclear missiles. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Okay, because that's really an unhonorable death. Okay, the same thing. You ain't gonna have it to where one of the men of the Lord is just gonna die by what? By some plague that they've released out there into the air. Okay, but what's gonna happen is that you're gonna have men of the Lord that's gonna be killed, and they're gonna be killed, and you're gonna know what they've been dying for too, because they're gonna make a big deal about it. They're gonna say, look, this is, XYZ, okay, of this camp, okay, and he was doing this, that, and the third, and they're gonna ask him to denounce the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and the people that are the rightful people, okay, the actual elect of the Most High, they ain't gonna denounce the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Okay, they're gonna hold steadfast to that name, and they're gonna keep their faith unto death. And we're gonna touch on that a little bit later on, because it's a beautiful topic to go into. We're gonna see the history too of how certain men had to do that. Okay, and what they realized, what the conclusion they had come to, is that they said within their mind, said, look, man, I'm in this situation because I done pissed the Most High off. Okay, so the Most High has come to judge me, but look, I'm gonna hold steadfast to the faith unto death. Okay, so that there is gonna be a greater weight of glory return unto them. Remember too, Yahushua was the first to resurrect from the dead, so he had to go through that. And the worst thing about it, he lived a whole life of righteousness, and he had it to where he had to be murdered like that. So, hey, the servant's not greater than the master, man. Some of us ain't just gonna have to deal with that. Okay. So here, back within the book of Lamentations, now the 4th chapter, on the 18th verse, it says, "They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets." Okay, our end is near, while our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. It says our persecutors are swifter than the eagles. Okay, when they go up there and they land, okay, within the with their spaceships on a so-called land with their spaceships on some other a territory that they shouldn't be. What do they say? They say the eagle was landed, man. Okay, when they're flying their airplanes, their chariots, and that. So the eagle this and the eagle that. So who's swifter? Who was this nation that was going to be swifter than the eagles, man? Going to be Esau, okay? Right? The same people that are here right now, okay? It says, and of heavens are they swifter than the eagles of heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. Okay, they laid wait for us in the wilderness. Okay, the breath of our nostrils, right? The anointed of the Lord was taken, right? In their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Rejoice and be glad, O door of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup shall not the cup shall also pass unto thee. And thou shalt be drunken, right? And shall make thyself naked. Okay, it says the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of Zion. Okay, he will no more carry thee into captivity, and he will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And that's a beautiful, beautiful scripture right there. That's a beautiful scripture right there. Okay, because what that scripture is essentially saying is, when the accomplishment of the judgment of the 12 tribes of Israel, that's to say the captivity, the enslavement that we're in, okay, that's when the Lord was gonna put the hell upon who? Esau. So, and here's the proof of that. We're gonna see that within the book of Joel, because it's gonna couple it again. Okay, he said he's gonna visit the iniquity upon who? Upon Edom. So how can the Edomites be destroyed when the accomplishment of Jacob's punishment is not accomplished yet? That's not what the scripture says. The scripture says that when Lord was going to accomplish the punishment of Jacob, okay, once he's accomplished it, he's going to transfer, okay, the energy that is what? That is the curses onto Esau. That's what the Lord was going to do, man. Because these curses that you read about within the book of the Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, these curses are like an energy. And you're going to find out that you can't destroy this energy. We're going to be doing righteousness, okay, the 12 tribes of Israel, okay, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, but the energy that is the curses has to go on someone. And you're going to find out it's going to go upon Esau, okay? That's what the scripture was saying there within the book of Lamentations, the 4th chapter. It was saying, look, this is the curses. I'm going to move these curses like as it were a battleship. I'm going to move this battleship from A to B, okay, and from point A was Israel. Point B was who? The Edomites, man. They're going to go into hardcore captivity. And we're going to read about that within the scriptures too. We're going to read about that right here, right now. Okay? So let's go now into the book of Joel and see the same thing mirrored. Okay? But more in even greater detail. Okay? So this is the book, and this is going to show you that this was dealing with the end times too. Okay, so in the end times, you was going to have what? Edom was going to be there in the end times. Not like how they tell you out here within the churches where they don't even speak about Edom. Okay, not how they're telling you out here by these guys, okay, that are certified Edomites, and they're trying to tell you Edom was done away with, you know, in the times of the Jewish and Roman wars. When we just read in the scriptures when the Lord was going to accomplish the punishment they put upon the 12, of which we're still in our punishment. That's the point I'm trying to make. If we're still in our punishment, we still got to work for this man. We ain't in an autonomous state. The name of Israel ain't even within the world right now. And now it's in the world, but it ain't out there like that, man. Okay, they don't go out there and they're talking at the dinner table and say, look, man, the Israelites are doing really well right now. Okay, we got to step our game up. They ain't talking about that. They're looking down. Furthermore, we're a reproach unto them, man. Okay, they mock us. Okay, they call us all kind of names like Job had said. Okay, now I'm their son. Okay, yeah, and I say it straight, man. Them different Edomites that you be at the job, they'll be at home laughing about you, man. They ain't holding us in esteem right now, man. We ain't in our position of esteem. Okay, but see, for the word being brought out and ultimately for the establishment of the 12 tribes of Israel, that's when we're going to be glorified to the end that we're going to be blessed. And when you go into that word, blessed, it goes into the Hebrew word barak, meaning to say, basically, people are going to be bound down to you, man. And they ain't bound down to us right now, but this is what was the scriptures speak. It was spoken about of the scriptures as it pertains to who? As it pertains to the 12 tribes of Israel and the blessing that the Most High was going to give unto the 12 tribes of Israel. And until he does that, Esau was going to be within the world, because when the blessing comes upon Jacob, the curses goes upon Esau. Okay, so now let's read this within the book of Joel. Okay, really, I'm going to start within the 2nd chapter. Okay, so and this is dealing with end times, man. Joel, the 2nd chapter, on the 31st verse, it says, "The sun shall be turned into blackness, the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord to come." So this is dealing with the end times, and we read about that within the book of Second Ezra, the 16th chapter. Okay, we read about that within the book of Isaiah, the 54th chapter, on the 16th verse. How did the Most High create the smith that was going to bring forth an instrument of his work? And it was going to accomplish the bringing about of plagues and judgments, and the day of darkness, the great and terrible day. Which also we're gonna go into the scriptures a little bit later on. You're gonna need a great amount of faith within that time, because a lot of people gonna have to be put to death, man. Okay, a lot of people might have to die. Okay, a handful of people, brothers, might have to die for Yahweh Shai, man. We're going to read about the events that had happened in the time of the Maccabees. And you're going to have to put your mind to, you're like, man, damn, I got to increase my faith, because when you go into where you got a hot, seething pan of oil, and man's are saying, look, are you holding down to this truth or not? You're going to be convicted within your mind. You're going to say, yes, I'm down with Yahweh Shai, and take that L, so that the Lord will magnify you in the latter times. And really, a nice scripture to go into after that will be the Thessalonians, where it talks about them that are dead in your house shall be risen first. Okay, that'll be a good scripture to go into after that, going to show that there's going to be an eternal weight of glory, okay, unto the men that have to die for this truth. Okay, it says here, so this is the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter, on the 31st verse. It says, "The sun shall be darkened and turn into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of Yahweh Shai," okay, of the Lord. And so it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord saith, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. Okay, so this is dealing with the end times. So we know that the end times was going to be what? A day of darkness. But this day of darkness is what? This is talking about the World War II that's going to play out, and they jump straight into it in the next chapter. For behold, in those days, what days? The end times, man. We was just talking about here, the day of darkness and the terrible day of the Lord. Okay, it goes into the 3rd chapter. It says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, I will bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." That's why I'm saying in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem was going to be what? Was going to be deliverance, because that's when the Lord was going, in the terrible and dreadful day, the end time, so you can understand, was when the Lord was going to what? He was going to deliver the 12 tribes of Israel, and he was going to move them from the position of being in captivity to the position of being rulers. Just like how we read within the book of what? Lamentations, the 4th chapter. Just like how we have read that. That's what was going to happen during the end times. Okay, during the terrible day of the Lord was going to move Israel from being in slavery and put Edom into captivity. And it's going to tell you about Edom right here, man. Going to show you in the end times, Esau was going to be here, man. because he hasn't received of his punishment. Esau has not received the punishment of having it to where the Jacob that was escaping the Babylonian captivity was caught by Esau and they was put back into that captivity. Okay, he hasn't caught the judgment for putting the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans into hardcore slavery, man. Okay, putting us in the position that we're in. Okay, destroying our communities by the music that he puts within our communities. He hasn't received the judgment off of that. Okay, all you see, what's these so-called black entertainers really doing, man? They're destroying their own community for the bidding, okay, of Esau. Okay, these Edomites got you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans acting like a damn cool, man, like a damn idiot. Okay, now look, I'm all for playing the game and keeping peace, you know, with your so-called surroundings, man, because you can have a lot of tension, okay, just off of a certain mindset. So I relax, but the fact of the matter is, you gotta have a ruling class mentality. There's just certain things that just don't need to be done, man. And you don't have to bow and scrape for Esau like that, man. Especially now in the times that we're living in right now. If you're feeling like uncomfortable in the position that you're in, man, you could trade up. Okay, if the Lord allows it for you to do that. And more importantly, we got the kingdom coming, man. Okay, to the end that Esau's gonna receive the judgment off of what he's done for all of these years, man. Having to wear our whole, and then he'll turn around and tell you, look at these niggas. After destroying our whole community, the music that we're listening to, you ain't got it to where you got health food stores within Negro, Hispanic, Native American communities. It ain't health food stores that are there. It ain't the best universities that miss the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. It's the worst of the worst, and that's done by design, man. So you got it to where you got systematic and institutionalized racism. Okay, this is done from the top up. Okay, that's why you got it to where we need so-called expensive neighborhoods. How many Israelites you gonna see? How many Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans you gonna see within those neighborhoods, man? You're gonna see a damn one of them. Okay, you go to where you got certain places where you can go and have food that's beneficial to your health. You're gonna see a Negro, Hispanic, or Native American within there. You ain't gonna see a single one of them, because why? Because Esau has systematically designed it to where those things aren't accessible to you, although they be right in front of you. You might walk past health food stores, but they'll put the price so high that you ain't gonna be able to afford it. Okay, and then they'll turn around and say, look at these niggas, man. Okay, you walk past some good music, man. Okay, maybe being played out there in the streets, a good jazz band that's gonna be beneficial to yourself, but he's put it within your mind that what's cool and what's valued within the Negro, Hispanic, Native Americans is what? It's just folly, man. Okay, that rap crap, man. That's what's seen as of which you could be good with your words, man. I ain't got no problem with that. But you out there promoting ass shaking and drug dealing and killing your own brothers, man. I ain't down with that. That's not the spirit. Yeah, how about shimmy outside? That's an off spirit. That's the spirit of Satan. That's the spirit of the wicked. That's the spirit of Esau. And he's put it within your spirit because he was the original nigga. That's why the scripture says that what? Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. And that's why these niggas are doing that, because they're of their father the devil, which is Esau, who is in rulership right now, or who are to be destroyed. Okay? So it says here, in Joel the 3rd chapter, dealing with end times, okay, for beholding those days, and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather the nations, okay, and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I'll plead with them there for my people, my heritage, Israel, whom they have gathered among the nations and parted my land. For they cast lots for my people, they sold a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine. Okay, now let's not go to the point. I believe it's even in the next verse. Okay, oh yeah, sorry. What am I doing? Let me read that again. So it says, for they have cast lots for my people, which means sell them to slavery. Okay, so they were bidding. Okay, and it says, and they have given a boy for an harlot. Okay, and a sold a girl for wine, that they may have drink. Yea, why am I to do with the Tyre and Zidon and the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? Okay. And the children, let's skip down. The children of Judah and the Grecians have ye sold. The children of Judah and Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that they might remove them from the far border. Okay, is that the point I wanted? There's a point here where it says Edom. Okay, there's one here where it says here we go. Okay, it says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and return your recompense unto your own head. And I'll sell your children and your daughters, okay, into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians and to the people far off. Okay, proclaim ye proclaim this amongst the Gentiles. Okay, prepare a war, make mighty men. Let all the men draw near. Let them come up. Okay, beat your plowshares into swords and pruning hooks into spears. Okay, so there's a point. I'm just missing it right now. It's slipping me right now because I know there's a scripture it says exactly the same thing, but it actually mentions Esau and Edom. Okay, but it's just escaping my mind right now. But see, really, the point is made because you've seen that's the end time prophecies. Okay, that's dealing with what? That's dealing with captivity, returning unto Esau, who had sold us into captivity. Okay, let's go to the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter and the 9th verse. And it says here, Revelations 13 and 9, it says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Why does the scripture say this within the book of Revelations? Because there was going to be a great captivity that was going to be done by Esau, and that was going to return unto his own head. He was going to go into captivity, like we have read in the book of in the book of Joel, and within the book of Lamentations, the 4th chapter. This judgment was going to return unto their own head. Okay, your Rothschilds. Okay, the judgment was going to return unto their own head. Okay, this guy going to another scripture, and this one is this is a good one right here, dealing with who was going to be ruling in the latter times. Okay, it says bear with me. Now this one it's in the book of Revelations. Okay, I think it's in the 17th chapter. Okay. It's in the 17th chapter. No, it's not in the 17th chapter. Might have to search it out in a second, but it's a good scripture. Okay, it's a good scripture. Okay, so let me get it. I'll search it out within the Urim and Thummim. Okay, but it's a good scripture dealing with the times that we're in, the end times. Okay, and it's also, again, it's another clue. Okay, going to show you that Esau's in power and he's waiting for his judgment right now. Okay, so red horse. I'm gonna search that. And Revelations 19 and 19. Revelations 19 and 9. It says this, and I saw. Okay, no, that's not it. That's not it. Let me search that again. Red horse. Let's go back one. Okay, Revelation 6 and 4. That's it. Okay, and I saw, and there went out another horse that was red, and there was power given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Okay, now let's have some fun with that. So we know that the sword, there was a red horse, okay, and the power was given unto, and it was given unto him a great sword, and power was given unto him to take peace from the earth. Okay, let's have some fun with this now. Okay, we're gonna go into the scriptures, and we're gonna see that when these Edomites came into power, okay, peace was taken from the earth because the war is winning in nature, and the sword is their blessing. Okay, and they're the ones that destroy the earth. The scripture even goes as far as saying that thou shouldest destroy those that destroy the earth. Okay, now let's have some fun with this. This is the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter. Okay, Genesis 25. All right, and 27 rather. It's really in the 27th chapter. Okay. Right. So this is Genesis 27 and 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father, but bless me even also my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, and Isaac his father said, behold, thy dwelling place shall be the fatness of the earth. You shall be as the dew of, and it shall be and of the dew of heaven from above. Okay, and by the sword shalt thou live. Okay, and serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when ye have the dominion that ye shall break the yoke off of his neck. Okay, so he was gonna have Jacob in slavery, man. So you know that's clues right there. Okay, but when we go to Genesis the 25th chapter, so that's the clue of the sword. Okay, that's the clue of the sword. Now let's go to Genesis the 25th chapter. Okay, Genesis 25 and 29 says, and Jacob sought pottage, and Esau and Jacob sought pottage, and it says, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Okay, and it says, and Esau said to his to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, right, with the same red pottage, for I'm faint. Therefore his name was called Edom. Okay, you right there, man?
I'm good.
Okay, are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
Okay, this is the future of the world. Okay. Hey, what's up, man? So it says here, so that basically goes to show you who Edom is, okay, and that the red horse that was prophesied to come to take peace away from the earth, okay, within the book of Revelations, the 6th chapter and the 4th verse, is Esau. So you got these cats talking about Esau don't exist anymore. They obviously ain't reading the scriptures and piecing these different things together. You go to the book of Isaiah, the 28th chapter, and the 8th verse. What did it say? It says here a little, there a little. Okay, piece by piece, you're supposed to piece this whole puzzle of the scriptures together to the end that you was gonna get understanding, man. Not folly. You was gonna get understand what this, what the scripture was saying. Okay, like how the Esau